I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. But BookTrib, I can't even talk. Oh my gosh, my dog is walking around in the background. I'm in my fake cleaned office just for you. And anyway, I'm happy to be here to celebrate Time Flies, my new novel. And I can't see a thing without my glasses, but I'll take them off for a minute. Time Flies is about it's a fun beach read, a trip to a high school reunion. It's got lots of fun music and metal sculpture, and I think it's ultimately about female friendship and old flames and phobias and lots of stuff like that. So I'm going to put my glasses on and see what you want to know. Thanks for coming. Okay. Let me. And I'm excited to be here too. Thank you, BookTrib. Okay, so this is RYC Barm 123. Your second novel, Must Love Dogs, was adapted into a movie, one of my favorites. What was the best memory from your experience? Do you think the movie did the book justice and vice versa? Well, um, and thank you for saying it was one of your favorites. The best experience was really the whole thing. I got so lucky. I was just able to have this magical experience to, it felt as if I was on the Warner Brothers bus tour and I escaped and got to see all the things all of us would really love to see. And it was just tremendous. I really just enjoyed every minute of it. It was the year I turned 50. I mean, what a way to celebrate your 50th birthday. So it was a blast. I wish something exciting like that could happen to everybody in the whole world. It was really fun. As for did it do it justice, you know, honestly, I think it captured the spirit. I think it captured the spirit of the book. I think they're very different things. I think Warner Brothers makes unabashedly romantic comedies that are wonderful and formulaic, and the movie is smaller and quirkier. But the biggest gift of the Must Love Dogs movie is that it still plays all the time on TV. Whenever it does, it sends new readers my way, which as an author, all you really want to do is have readers discover your books. So yeah, I mean, I think it's fun, and sometimes when it comes on TV, I even get pulled in and I forget that I wrote the book. Okay, let me find the next one. I'll get better at this. Okay, Book Nerd 33. Thanks for being here, Claire. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, too. I read that you wrote your first novel in a minivan when you were 45. What made you want to pick up a pen and write a book at that age? Well, I wanted to write a book from the time I was a little girl, and I was on that path. For a long time, you know, through high school, through college, where I majored in film and creative writing, and then I just panicked. And I just listened to people's negativity, which to this day I think is my biggest cautionary tale to other people, to just, if you have something in your heart, just do it. But instead, I was scared for a lot of years. And finally, I think it was a midlife wake-up call. I was 44, looking at 45 over the corner. And it just hit me one day that I might live my whole life and never once even try. So one cold New England winter, I sat outside in my minivan and wrote that first book, and it ended up selling to the first publisher who asked to read it. And you know, clearly I was the person in my own way all that time. And so because of that, sharing my story with other people with buried dreams of their own is really important to me. And if you go to my website, if you haven't been there yet, go to clairecook.com, and I have a reinvention page and a writing page, and I'm always, you know, available to mentor as best I can. So I hope that answered that. Let me find the next one. Yeah, so that's what made me pick up the pen, was just, it's what I wanted to do. And I think there's a fearlessness that comes with midlife, and I think it's just, you reach a point that, you know, I've embarrassed myself every way in the world there is to embarrass myself at this point, so hey, why not just go for it? And I'm so glad I did, and I hope who's ever out there will do the same thing, whatever you hope to do in your life. And it's never too late, really. I don't think there's a best by date or an expiration date. And I used to say, it's a good thing I didn't want to be a rock star at 45. I might have been in trouble. The good thing is about being a novelist. You can do it at any time. But then a woman at one of my events was in the background, and she's a musician, and she's still hoping to be a rock star. So I stand corrected. It's never too late to do whatever you want to do. Okay. Mina, is that how you say it? Mina or Mina, which is a beautiful name to Caro. Hi, Claire. Congrats on the release of Time Flies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Mama Della, hello, glad to be here. And I love your little smiley face. I'm so glad you're here too. Worldly Goods. So glad to have you here. Huge fan. Thank you. What are some of your favorite beach reads? Oh my goodness. I read everything I can get my hands on, and oh gosh, there's just so many good books out right now. Favorite beach reads. I'm going to just tell you friends that I know that have books out right now. My friend Beth Hoffman has Looking for Me. My friend Wendy Wax has While You Were Watching Downton Abbey. I'll be doing an event next week in Atlanta with Mary Kay Andrews, who has Ladies Night. They're just so many. Feel free to suggest some of yours, and I'll read them later too. I always go blank when someone asks me that question, but I always want to shout out other authors. Sharon Berger, hi Sharon. Your books celebrate women and life. They are uplifting and fun. What wonderful creativity to write these books. Thank you so much. That's really nice of you. And that's exactly, I read lots of different kinds of books, but I truly think there's enough pain and suffering in the world without me adding to it personally. So I love that I get to write the fun books, the beach books that women want to take with them on vacation, and that when you close the cover, you feel better, and hopefully the characters stay with you and feel like new friends. Okay. Jessamine Rice. Welcome, Claire. Thank you so much, Jessamine. Nova Mance Conover. Hi. Oh, there's so much fun. I feel like I'm seeing all my Facebook friends and Twitter followers. Hi, Claire. So happy for the release of Time Flies. Thank you so much. Sharon Gallagher Chance. And thank you for shouting this out on Facebook too. I saw that. Hi, Claire. Love Time Flies. Just reviewed it on my blog today. Oh, thank you. I haven't seen that. I'll shout it out from my end. Are you ever apprehensive about sending your babies, your novels out to be reviewed? Oh my goodness. Of course. Yes. That's such a good question. I feel so grateful to reviewers too. My readers and reviewers just are the most amazing people. I love you all. You've been so good to me. I'm so grateful. But yeah, it's like, it's a little piece of my heart, a big piece of my heart out there. But I feel that you have treated my books as such, and I'm really grateful for that. So thank you very much. And I can't wait to read your review, Sharon. Minna, I hope it's Minna or Mina. Either way is beautiful. Is summer the season that inspires you the most? Most of your books have this breezy summer feel. That's such an interesting, I think summer is the time, partly I have a lot of teachers who read my books, and summer is the time they're off. And, I think that's true for a lot of moms too. There's a little bit less driving around maybe. So I just want them to feel like summer. And it's vacation time. Most of us get our 2 weeks. So that's why, that's why I love that my books come out in the summer. But the interesting thing for you to know that you might not realize is I'm writing them usually through the winter. So summer for me is when I'm out meeting readers and hanging out with the, booksellers and librarians and the most wonderful people in the world. So it's the time that I'm not actually writing. So I think writing those summer books have gotten me through some long winters. So, but thank you for noticing that. That's really interesting. Okay, Slappy D's. Do you ever get scared while driving? What inspired you to write about a driving phobia? Ooh, another good question. Okay, I've recently, like in the last year and a half, moved to the suburbs of Atlanta, where the highways are 8 lanes going in each direction. I think I'm afraid to count, but roughly that. And so yeah, I've got a little bit of that. I can pretty much find anything back roads if I need to. But really, where it came from, after I got the idea that I wanted to do kind of a boomer twist on Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, even though the book probably didn't quite come out that way. I just really wanted to capture the next phase, what that movie might feel like in the next phase of life when we have so much more baggage. But as I was kind of thinking what other layers would come into this novel, I just stumbled on the fact that 40% of women, almost twice, I think over twice as many as men, have a full-blown phobia at some point in their lives. And I just thought it would be relatable. I thought maybe I could share some info about that. And so my litmus test is always that I posted on Facebook and Twitter, what are you really afraid of? And I just got like hundreds and hundreds of answers, which has more and more helped me write my novels. And the answers were, heights and basements and snakes, and highway driving was up there. So I just thought it would be relatable. And I think because phobias tend to be kind of embarrassing for the one person who has them, and I can certainly relate to that. I think talking about it and realizing that other women and other people feel the same way is just really kind of reassuring that we're all afraid of something. So I hope that answers that. Hashtag books. I love your Twitter bio. Thank you. Midlife really does rock, and I agree. You've pretty much set the bar extremely high for all of us other folks. If you could go back, would you have started writing books sooner? Well, I hope setting the bar high is a good thing. I truly believe we can do whatever we want at midlife, and I hope whatever whatever you want to do, you just dig down and do it. But also no pressure. If you want to just go have some fun, do that too. For me, I felt really, really bad for a lot of years about not doing the thing that I most wanted to do. So the procrastination actually became more painful than writing that first novel. And in a way, maybe that's the test. If I could go back, would I have started writing my book sooner? I don't think so. I think I am enjoying it now. I am so grateful for every day of this career, so grateful for my readers, for reviewers and librarians and booksellers and everyone who has supported me, journalists, friends, family. And I just, I think I appreciate it more. I also think the books that I'm writing now are the books that, I was meant to write, and I'm glad I waited. And again, there's this courage that came to me at midlife that, it's not that I don't hope you all like me. I really do. But if not, oh well. I mean, you just get to this point where you know who you are. And I think there's great power in that. So I'm glad I'm writing them now. And, once I hit my stride, I feel like I've done pretty well. Time Flies is actually my 10th book since 2000. So I look at it as a full-time job. And I get up and I sit down and in my fake clean office and get to work. Let's see. Hula Monkey, hi. No, I didn't miss anyone. How the heck did you come up with Melanie learning to weld? Good question. Love the phrasing too. All 10 of my novels, I have tried to give my heroines interesting professions because I've realized that readers often come to my books to get ideas for their own life. If there's an overarching theme to my novels, I think it's midlife reinvention, being, what's next. Most of the narrators of my books are stuck in some sort of a crossroads and trying to figure how to get to the next step. I just thought welding would be really interesting, and I love the idea that she it's kind of she uses a lot of found items, and it's kind of up marketing them or whatever. And it was interesting. And I have to tell you, I did try it under close supervision. It's really hot and it's really scary, but you know, I'm fascinated by it. But I'm definitely not going to quit my day job as a novelist and become a metal artist. But I sure admire them. And I look at things that way. You know, I think each novel is like getting to live a different life. And I think that's true reading too, but it's certainly true writing a novel. And you know, I look at metal sculptures differently, and I look at things and say, oh, that would make a nice sculpture, as if I could do it, which I can't. Good question. Elaine Klingbeil, I hope I'm saying it. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names, everybody, with a last name like Cook. I'm not very good at this. I would love to read Time Flies. Sounds very good. Thank you so much. And I hope you win a copy. And if not, you can read an excerpt on the homepage over at clairecook.com. And anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Mama Della, Claire, I am glad you're talking about phobias. Now I don't feel so awkward about mine. Oh, good. Oh, that's really a great comment. And I'm so glad that that's true. I've been hearing that. You know, the book's only been out for a week today. And as I've been going around to book events, a lot of women are saying that. So I feel fabulous about that. I think it's important to know that you know, we've all got something, and friendship is what gets you through too, and talking about it. Your books are not only enjoyable, they are very helpful. Thank you for saying that. You know, I think of them as my little factoids that I weave within the books, and it's very much, you know, it's very important to me to be able to do that and to share what I know and to, you know, learn as I write. So thank you. That's a lovely thing to say. Savvy Bookworm, hi. Since you had such great success with Must Love Dogs, have you thought about which of your other books you would like to have turned into a movie? Well, I'll have to tell you, I would like all of them turned into movies, and I think they would all make really good movies, but of course I wrote them. I've come really close with a couple of others. Working Title had multiple choice for a while. They made Fargo, Love Actually, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and it looked really good. And then they had 3 bad scripts, and it all fell apart, which is usually what happens. And I truly know how lucky I got with Must Love Dogs. So if it never happens again, I am completely fine. I got one. I'm so grateful for that. But the Wildwater Walking Club is getting close right now, so fingers crossed for that one. I think Time Flies would be a fabulous movie. You know, I'd like them all to be movies, and it will be the one I never expected to happen, which is probably going to be the next one. So cross your fingers for me, everybody. I'd love to have the experience again. It would be fun. So good question. Jessamine Rice, I love your writing philosophy. I'd be very curious to know whether you are a plotter or, oh, good question, a plotter or a pantster, as in flying by the seat of your pants when it comes to writing. Well, I am such a pantster. I'm an incredible pantster. This is how I look at it. And actually, if you go to the writing page at clairecook.com, there's lots of tips on writing, but also my process. There's a little video if you scroll down that tells how I do it. So I can tell you a little bit about what I do here, but if you want more details, or if I'm talking too quickly, this is how I look at it. If I'm going to write a fun book, I should have fun writing it. And I think it was Robert Frost who said, no surprise for the writer, no surprise for the reader. And I have no idea if that's true or not, but it justifies the way that I write, which is that it just seems to me that if I were to have an outline, it would feel like a term paper, and I'm just over that. So I start, since my books are essentially slice of life novels, I start with once I get the narrator's voice, my books are all written in the first person. So once I have the narrator's voice, that's my entry point. You know, I feel that once I get that who she is, you know, how she sounds, how she sees the world, and that's my big start. And then I think of what is the explosion, the little explosion that starts the book. You know, in Time Flies, the good thing is because Melanie is a metal sculptor, she has the tools to cut up her marriage mattress when her husband leaves her for another woman. So that's kind of the scene that sparks it all. And then everything just ripples from there. And as a writer, I'm just kind of following it. I'm thinking, okay, if she chops up the whole mattress, what's she gonna do with it? Well, she's a metal sculptor, so maybe she use the box springs, you know, the actual springs to make, to make sculptures. And she does. She makes her box spring ladies who become minor characters in the book. So I just follow it. And to me, that makes it fun. And I hear from readers all the time that they were so surprised by the endings of my books. And yeah, me too. I had no idea. I just kind of walk myself into the situation and I stay open for the surprises. I think so many of the things people have enjoyed about my books, I didn't really plan ahead of time. So I just think for me, if I outlined everything, I might miss the best parts of my own books. So that's how I do it, but everyone has a different process, and whatever works for you, that's how you should do it. If there were one way to do it, we would all have like amazing bestsellers every time out, but it just doesn't work that way. Oh, Robin Call. How are you? Hey, Claire, figured it out. You're on. See, you're not check challenged. I knew you could get here. That's Reading with Robin, everyone, if you haven't met her. She's wonderful, and I know you'll come up with a question. Thanks for coming. Sharon Berger, have you traveled to many locales and what is your favorite place to visit? My favorite place to visit. I've traveled a lot. Oh my goodness. You know, the most fun thing for me to do, I think, is to, I've done this with a couple of my books where because of my production schedule, I've had a trip for my characters that I actually had to write the first draft ahead of time because it was due before I could get to the place, whether it was something that happened a specific time of year or just how it worked out. So that's kind of become my favorite thing, to imagine something in my head fully and then go see it and see how majorly wrong it is, and then have to do a whole bunch of rewriting to fix it. Let's see, in terms of places, I've been to Africa, I've been to Senegal, I loved that. The furthest I've been on book tour, I think, is Denmark. That was really fun. I spoke at a literary festival there, and this Tivoli, you know, with all the big chandelier overhead. It was amazing. That was very cool. I want to go everywhere, but mostly I'm sitting, you know, in the office you're looking at right now, working. So suggest somewhere. I need a new trip. But yeah, I've traveled, and certainly it's been such a joy as an author to get to travel and meet so many readers, and you know, and I've yet to meet a beach I didn't love. I'm such a beach person. Sharon Gallagher Chance again. You mentioned your author friends like the sweet Beth Hoffman. Yes, she's very, very sweet. She's been, you know, she really is. Do you find a lot of support from your peers? I absolutely do. You know, I think other authors have been really good to me, and you know, it's like everyone, you know, your friends that you meet, right? It doesn't take long to find out that who's a giver and who's a taker, and I feel lucky to know so many authors who have been kind and generous to me, and I'm really grateful for that. But I have to say, I'm probably as focused on readers, you know, as I like hanging out with my readers just as much as other authors. They give me so much in terms of support and ideas and feedback. So yeah, yeah, there's lots of support. I mean, there are good people everywhere. I feel so grateful to have met so many. Teresa's reading. Hi, Claire. I look forward to your releases each time. Thank you so much for that. I haven't read Time Flies yet, but it's definitely in my queue. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for saying that. Karen Haney, hi. Hi, Claire. Thank you for starting me on my way as a blogger since life's a beach. I remember that so clearly. I'm glad you're doing so well. I remember Life's a Beach was one of my first reviews, thanks to your kindness in helping me get a copy. Yeah, I kind of told you how to jump through the hoops. I'm always happy to share things like that. I mean, and such a gift. You've been so good to me, Karen. I appreciate it. But I wonder if now that you continue to grow so much in popularity, how has your personal life changed? You mean, do I have one yet? um, Thank you for saying that. I feel that, you know, I consider myself a worker bee author. I get my work done. I write the best book I can possibly write each time. I do my best to connect and try to get it out. Um, and that takes a lot of time, but I think it's just it was that way with the first book, and it will always be that way. Um, I think I maybe get more fun invitations occasionally than I did in the beginning. And because, but I think that would be true in any field. You meet more people, but yeah, the thing about being popular or your popularity or your bestsellerdom or whatever it is, you know, you just have to not think it's all about you. I'm grateful. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes you feel like all the good things are happening for you. Sometimes you're just hoping your poor book will get a break, and you just have to be in it for the long haul, whatever happens, and not start to believe your own press clippings and think you're cool or whatever. I'm just grateful and hardworking, and my personal life is filled with work, as it will probably always be, and yet I have wonderful family and friends. But always, I have to say, I get my work done first, and then I go out and have some fun. So I hope I answered that. But thank you, and again, congrats on your bloggerdom, Elaine Klingbeil. This is fun. I am loving the questions and Claire's answers. Thank you, thank you. This is fun too. I wish I could see all your faces, but I can at least see your little pictures, so that's good. Robin. Robin Call. Hi, Claire. I loved every piece of Time Flies. Thank you. And also, Robin, when you have tweeted quotes from that book everywhere, and I love them. And I'm also going to use them myself and start getting them out there. That was such a nice thing to do, and you picked better quotes than I think I would have. Did you reconnect with any of your high school friends while writing this book? Okay, I did. I actually started a private group on Facebook for them because it was just such a direct access to ask them to share memories and bad makeup and hair and things like that. I did that on Facebook with my regular friends too and followers, but I did do a private group, so that was really fun. And I do have a reunion coming up, which I won't tell the number because I don't want to ruin the book for people. I think it's important to make it the best class ever and just leave it open so it's more relatable for all of us. But I'm wondering if I'm really going to go because I feel that I've imagined it so clearly. I feel that my reunion, I just don't want it to feel anticlimactic. So I'm not sure. I'll let you know what happens, but good question. Hula Monkey, is that a doggy bed I see behind you? Yes, and my dog, I'm waiting for her to show up any moment. She is almost 15. My dog is Daisy, and she's a Shar-Pei Lab cross. She's almost 15, so she kind of calls the shots, but you may see her over my shoulder come wander in. There's a dog bed behind me with her favorite beach towel on top of it. So you might see Daisy. Otherwise, I'll post a picture on Facebook and Twitter. Hashtag books. I could try calling her Daisy. Yeah, right. Hashtag books. Hi. Who would be your dream cast if Time Flies was made into a feature film? Ooh, we might have to ask Robin about that. She'd be better than that. This is what's so weird for me, and it even happened with Must Love Dogs. I see the characters so clearly that I've written that I'm probably the last person who could cast it. So that would just be really hard for me. But if any of you who are listening now, feel free to make some suggestions. And if I get the opportunity, I will absolutely pass them along. Yeah, I just see the characters just so clearly. I think with Must Love Dogs, the only one that I was positive right away, I knew John Cusack had to play John. He was actually John in the book, but Jake in the movie. Which was another story in itself. It was because John Cusack had already played a John against a Sarah in Serendipity, so they ended up switching his character's name from John to Jake after my husband Jake. So my husband Jake is now famous forever, according to him anyway. So, but anyway, sorry about that with the cast. I'm sure you're going to have better ideas than I do. Let me see. J.A. Riddle. Oh, Judy, hi. Hey, Claire. I love Time Flies. Thank you so much. And thank you for posting that review on Amazon. That is such a gift. I really, really appreciate that. And if everybody goes to my website, clairecook.com, I'm doing a review giveaway. You can win all other beach bag filled with my 9 other books. So make sure you check that out. You can post on your blog or Goodreads or Amazon or wherever. Okay, now I'm going to read your question. Hey, I have now read all of them. Oh, thank you. So when can we expect the next one? Okay, this is how it worked. Just before Time Flies came out, last week, I delivered a draft of my next novel to my literary agent. So as soon as I finish, the first few weeks of promotion, I will dive in and start working on revisions, and I'll let you know. The minute I know when it's going to be out, I will let all of you know. And I'm not saying too much about it yet because I don't want to jinx it. And I feel like if I talk a book to death before I finish with revisions, I'm seriously afraid I'm going to jinx myself. So that's the only reason I don't do it. But I will tell you as soon as I can what it's all about. I can't wait to share it with you. It's going to be a fun one. Thanks, Judy. Sharon Berger, when you are on vacation, does that provide you with more ideas? Yeah, when I'm everywhere, I think writers are really good eavesdroppers. So wherever I go, if you're ever at a restaurant and you see me at the next table, I am so listening to your conversation. That's what I do. I just kind of absorb the world and kind of file it away. And then when I'm writing a novel, it's like pulling these pieces out of a paper bag and putting them together in a new order. And so yeah, vacation. I actually, sometimes if I did the Savannah Book Festival this year. I did Cooks and Books in Hilton Head and places like that. I mean, beach towns to the beach town or being near the water, on the river there in Hilton Head. I mean, in Savannah. Sorry, I'm talking backwards here, but just anywhere. I'm just absorbing it and thinking, oh, maybe I can use that before. If I'm on a plane, I'm thinking, what's happening here that I can use. But yeah, the whole life. I think the world is just endlessly fascinating, and I'm writing about life right outside our kitchen doors. I'm not writing about celebrity. I'm writing about real women, real lives, and so yeah, I pick it up everywhere. Vacation or even just going to the grocery store. Get your best stuff at the grocery store. Sharn 3960, maybe that's Sharon. Hi. Hi, Clara. Thank you so much for your candid answers. You're welcome. I don't know how else to answer. I can't, I just feel like, you're kind enough to come. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I can't wait to read Time Flies. Thank you so much. I loved your last one, Wallflower in Bloom. Thank you. Are all of your books this fun? Are you funny in real life? I think if you like one of my books, my experience has been that readers who read one of my books and like it, they're just, become one of my readers. If you like one, I think you'd like them all. And I think they're fun. Again, I just feel that that's why I'm writing, to bring fun into the world and also to help us recognize ourselves. I think one of the reasons we read is to find ourselves. And over the years, I've heard over and over again, oh my God, you're writing my life. And I hope that's true because I'm living it too. So I think our lives are important enough to chronicle. Sometimes, people talk about exotic settings and, intricate plots and this and that. That's not what compels me. What compels me are, the lives of real women. So that's absolutely my, that's what I write. Am I funny in real life? Sometimes, and sometimes I save it for the page. I guess it just depends. Um, I think, and I hope that in life and on the page, it's, there's funny, but I think there also has to be a ballast to that. There has to be something a little more serious. I mean, if our life was just ha 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 all day long, it would get old. And life just doesn't work that way. I mean, one minute you're having a great time, and then the phone rings or whatever. So I hope I present that well. But I think I certainly have fun in real life, and that's important to me. That was a good question. BookTrib. Hey, BookTrib members, only 30 minutes left to ask your questions and make your comments. Okay, pressure's on. Maybe I should read faster. Teresa's reading. I too have a reunion coming up, so Time Flies is incredibly timely as well. Well, let me know if you go to yours, and then maybe I'll go to mine, Teresa. Yeah, I probably will. But and I've certainly loved connecting to my classmates. But I love the virtual piece of that too. I mean, who hasn't connected with practically everyone they've met or ever dated in their whole lives on Facebook and Twitter at this point? So I love that. It's fascinating. Again, I'm such a people watcher. I don't, it doesn't even have to be in person. It's just really interesting. Okay, Robin, your books always inspire me to think about side businesses. Yeah, I think thank you. There's an entrepreneurial spirit. I think that my characters are trying to figure out what's next in their lives in these crazy times. Everything's changing so quickly. The economy's, been so crazy too. And, I think we're all thinking along those lines. So that's something I have intentionally brought to my books, and I hope to be giving ideas to women. Do you have an endless supply of ideas for future books and the businesses they will include? Wow, that would make me so organized, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I have endless ideas for books because for me, honestly, the ideas are the easy part. Sitting my butt down in the chair and getting the writing done every day is the challenge. But the ideas, I feel like we could get this group going and we could brainstorm novel ideas and we could come up with a million of them just by saying, oh, what if we did this? And what if this person did that? And wouldn't this be an interesting job? So that part, I try not to think too far ahead. I try to put everything I've got into the book I'm writing instead of saving things for future books. And I just think there are a million ideas out there. I think the ideas are infinite. So, but I don't get that far ahead of myself at all. Because if I did, I would probably not be a pantster and I'd be a plotter. But it's a good idea. That would be an interesting business, providing book ideas, wouldn't it? Okay, passion for fiction. Great. I love that name. Hi. Do you listen to music while writing? That's so funny. I had the music. Let me see if I can get it to go on. I had the, now I won't be able to do it. I had the playlist there's some great playlists in Time Flies, if I do say so myself. And oh, did I just mess this up? Oh no, I minimized it. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, there we go. I guess I can't get this to go. Nah, it's not going to work. I did have the playlist there were several playlists in Time Flies, and people are really loving the music, and we've been playing that at events. But when I'm writing, I never listen to music. Which is probably why I turned this off right before this started. The music gets in the way of my thinking. It's like there's not enough maybe room in my brain for music and ideas, which is kind of pathetic. But I know authors who listen to music the whole time they write, and I'm so jealous of that because I love music, but I can't do it. So the joy of being out and about with people has been to play this music all the time, and everyone's downloading the songs in Time Flies. If there was a way to include a CD with this book, I would have loved to have done it. That would have been so cool, but apparently that's not really possible. Someday. And and now I want to know passion for fiction. If you listen to music while you're writing, but you'll have to tell me some other time. Mama Della, of all the books you have written, do you have a favorite? Okay, my favorite is the book I'm going to write next. It just, like, I always think the next one will be better, and that's where my focus goes. I think I can honestly say that for each of my 10 books, I've written the best book I could possibly write at that time, and then I've just let it go and moved on. So that's, the best that I can do. And I don't really compare them to each other. And I hear authors who, I think as an author, you're not supposed to really like your own books, but there was a point in my career that I sat down and kind of read them all back to back just to get a sense of where I needed to go. And I kind of liked them. I hope that doesn't sound awful, but I'm proud of them. I've just worked really, really hard on each book, but I don't look back. I let it go. To me, the thought of critiquing something that's already on, in print and on the shelf, just where's that going to get you? So just move on and always try to learn and grow. I try to raise the bar a little bit higher with each book, and just try to be better with each one. That's the important thing, because you can't control everything else. You can't control who's going to cover it, how many copies will sell, but what you can control is writing, always, always, always writing the best books. So, let's see. What is your favorite book to movie adaptation? Must Love Dogs, because it's mine. Oh, that was Worldly Goods. This is what I think. And are there any that you found were extremely well done or horribly done? I don't even think about things like that. I think a movie is always a book is always going to be better. Always, always, always. Because a movie is destined to show us too much. What's so wonderful about reading a book is that we get to create the pictures. We cast it in our heads. We direct the action in our brains, and so when you see a movie, someone else has made those creative decisions. And I think that's partly why I had such a good experience with Must Love Dogs, that I knew that. I just let it go, and I kept joking with the wonderful director, Gary David Goldberg, and the producers. I kept saying, hey, whatever. I'm going to be so grateful for even a bad movie, because it will help put my 2 kids through college. So I just don't worry about things. To me, the focus is on the book. And yeah, I'm sure there's some, there are some that just fell completely flat. And I don't feel that way about the one that I got. And I don't spend a lot of time analyzing those other things. I'm sure you probably would do a better job at that than I do. But I kind of put them in 2 different categories, I guess, books and movies. So, and don't spend a lot of time comparing or worrying about which one was better. Sharon Berger, is summer your favorite time, and what beach is your favorite of all? I don't know if summer's, the vacation vibe of summer, I think, is what I'm going for, and the beachiness of summer is, I think, what I'm going for in my books. That being said, I love fall, I love spring, I like winter too. I'm not sure I have a favorite season. And as for what's my favorite beach, I don't think I've ever am I saying this right? I don't think I've ever met a beach I didn't like, is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. This is a lot of talking. I love all the beaches. I mean, my hometown is Situate, Massachusetts, which has beautiful beaches. I'm discovering all the new beaches like Jekyll Island and St. Simon's since I've moved to Atlanta, because those are the closest, and I hear Destin is wonderful. I love Siesta Key. I just love beaches. So if there's a beach I don't know about, tell me about it, and maybe I can set a scene there. Jessamine Rice, how do you come up with the names of your characters? Do you ever name them after people in your life? Okay, here's the thing. I'm one of 8. I have 7 brothers and sisters. So first of all, what I do is make sure I don't use a name, even though I have, some of them have fairly common names, I wouldn't dare use one of those names without using the rest of them. So I mostly think about, first of all, do I know anyone by that name? Not that I wouldn't use it, but because all of the other people connected to that person will get mad at me. And then the biggest thing I think about, and this is kind of a new writer thing that oh my gosh, I would love to have a job coming up with exotic names. I love unusual names, but my characters are ordinary people. So um, having um, sort of rarefied names really wouldn't work for them. It would call attention to itself in a way that it shouldn't. So I have to really resist that urge to, oh my gosh, I would just love to do all these crazy names. But one of the tricks that I use, like say my character was born in whatever year, I would Google up most popular name of that year, and that helps you get a list of a name that would feel right. Like in Time Flies, Melanie I loved because it sort of harkens back to the singer Melanie, and it just kind of to me had that retro vibe. But her friend BJ was Barbara in high school until she reinvented herself as BJ, and so that name to me just sort of says boomer woman. So I wish. I come up with names that will feel like someone that you know, or that you went to school with, or it could be you. I can't tell you, one of my books, Life's a Beach, has two sisters, Jerry and Ginger, and I have heard from I think every Ginger in America. So excited to have a Ginger in the book. So sometimes that happens too. But in that particular case, I wanted in my family there's a Kathy and a Claire, and I think that's really common to have the first letter of the names in families start with the same. So that's kind of why I did that. Oh, I just found out you could make these letters big. I could almost take off my glasses. Okay, Elaine Klingbeil. Are any of your books on an island off the coast of Maine? That would be such a great setting. It would, especially because there's so many gorgeous islands off the coast of Maine. I haven't done that yet, I don't think. No, I don't think I have done that yet. That would be a great setting, and thank you for the suggestion, and I will make a note of your name. If I ever do that, I'll thank you in the acknowledgments. Mama Della, thanks for such helpful comments, thoughts, and advice. Much appreciated. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thanks for the great questions. Minna, in 7-Year Switch, you say that we all tend to evolve to a new person every 7 years. Yeah, did you experience this transition into a different stage of your life, or was the writing career a tool to renovate yourself? That's really interesting. 7-Year Switch was my 7th novel, so that's where I started with the number 7, and what interesting thing could I do starting there? And then I found out about that thing, that the people who believe that every 7 years we become a completely new person. And I was just fascinated with that lore, so that was kind of a jumping in place for me. And it turned out that the heroine of that book, her husband had left her with a young child, and just when they were sort of figuring it out, 7 years later, he's back, and they have to kind of work that way in, because her daughter really, really needs her dad in her life, and really wants her dad, and so she has to put her own feelings about that aside and kind of work it through. So that's where the 7-Year Switch thing. In my own life, the big reinvention for me took a lot more than, it's more like 7 decades to get to, but no, it was really more like 2 decades to finally write that first book. I just think reinvention is the theme of my life and my novels, and it's really important, and 7-Year Switch was another way to explore that. I again find our lives endlessly fascinating, and I think most of us would not change is hard, so you have to be feeling pretty miserable to kind of get the energy to push to the next level. And I think the heroines in my books are doing that, each in a different way. And I have certainly done that in my own life. I mean, change is hard, but boy, is it triumphant when you get to the other end. And, you know, I think that's a big part of my message as a writer and a person, to encourage other women, you know, on those same journeys. Passion for fiction. Have you ever visited Cape May, New Jersey? And if so, have you written about it? I need to get to Cape May too. I hear how gorgeous it is. I have not done a book event in New Jersey for a long time. So on my list, and thank you for the suggestion. I might just have to spend a year hitting the beach, you know, from everywhere there's a beach. Robin, is that a flip-flop in the background? Yes, that's actually a flip-flop. A writer friend, Mimi Medwed, gave me years ago. It's ceramic, and it's from, I don't know if I can get it, and it's from, it's signed by the artist. I probably can't. Here it is. There it is. From Key West. So it's one of my, there's all sorts of beachy stuff in the background, but I think it's kind of hard to see here. There's a Life's a Beach sign behind me that is from Nantucket that was a gift. I cannot see a flip-flop without thinking of Life's a Beach. Thank you, Robin. We had a wonderful event in Rhode Island that you did for that. I'll never forget that. I'm sure there's still pictures up on my website. This has been so much fun. Catch you later. Yes, I know you have an appointment. Bye. Thanks for coming. Judy Riddle, who are some of your favorite authors? I would go back to the ones that I just read everything. And I'm really bad about remembering. I feel like if I mention someone, I'll leave out, like, you know, my best friend or whatever. So there's some great book lists that Time Flies has made. One, Robin Call, who just took off Go Local Providence, which is this big website. She just named Time Flies and a bunch of other books. They're all just great books. And that's on my website. And Deep South magazine, which I'm honored they let me in as a brand new person living in the South, has another list. There's so many good lists out there. And I'm really bad on that question. I apologize. Let's see, BookTrib, we only have a few minutes left before we wrap up, and Claire will announce the winners of Time Flies. Can't wait to do that. Teresa's reading, I love the idea of playlists that go along with stories. Is this a relatively new phenomenon, expectation, or has it always been a part of writing? You know, I don't know. I think I've been interviewed and had people ask me what did I listen to while I was writing a book, and I felt like such a loser because I don't listen to music while I'm writing. I can't. But maybe that's where this started. But to me, if you're going to a high school class reunion, and I actually asked this on Facebook and Twitter too, I asked my friends and followers what one song most reminds you of high school, and I got hundreds and hundreds, and then, you know, probably over 1,000 answers, and that I just thought was so cool. So I just love those little extras in books, and to me a playlist really fit for this one. But in terms of who else is doing it, I don't even know if anyone else is doing it, although I have seen lists, again, as I said, of songs writers have listened to while they're writing. Okay, Sharon Berger, does your creativity extend into other areas, cooking, crafts, and decor? Well, probably not cooking. I actually wrote a book, Best Age Plan, whose the heroine is a home stager, but she's past the cooking phase of her life, and she only faux cooks. She buys things from like Trader Joe's, and she, you know, disposes of the evidence and passes it off as homemade. So I'm afraid I'm a little bit like that these days. I'm just kind of over cooking. I'm kind of past all that. But I love crafts. I love decor. I love, you know, after immersing myself in words for so long, I love, love, love to just do something else with my hands. And I love to play in pictures. I love to fool around with Photoshop. I love to garden. I've certainly had my crafty phases. Right now in Atlanta, my husband and I are doing over a house. So picking out the paint colors and all the fun things. I love all that. Yeah, I think creative people or certainly many of the creative people I've met, just love to do lots and lots of things. And for me, the trick is to focus on writing the next book and not get too distracted. But in between, I have lots of fun. Sharon Gallagher Chance. Speaking of sisters, Melanie's sister in Time Flies was kind of bitchy. I love it. You said that, not me. Was she fun to write, or is there a simmering story about her that is just waiting to pop out? No, I just think family is important, and I think I've just talked to so many women who, are probably um, have carried stuff with siblings for a long time, and I think it was just it just felt like it fit, and it was a balance. It was a good counterpoint to Melanie and BJ, who are such sisters, even though they're not related, but they just have each other's backs, and I think it was important for Melanie to kind of cop to some of what was going on with her sister, whom, even though she was, I'll grant you bitchy, still, you only have so many siblings, and it's important to work those things out. So that was, I think, part of Melanie's growth, and she was fun to write, I have to admit. The bad characters are always the most fun to write. RYC Barm 123. Has social media helped you connect with your readers on a deeper level? What social media outlet do you use most and why? Yes, social media has not only helped get the word out about my books, which is all any author wants, or all I want as an author, but it's starting to, at least the last 2 or 3 books, it's helping me write my books. I've never felt more connected to my readers, who are so kind to tell me what resonates, and to give me ideas. And when I want to know if something's real, I put it right out on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and I get this immediate feedback. So I've always felt that I'm writing for all of us, and I think social media has only reinforced it. I love Facebook. Took me longer to love, and if you are not connected with me on Facebook, I'm Claire Cook author page. Go right there, and feel free to friend me as well, but it's always nice for me if you wouldn't mind liking my page. On Twitter, I'm Claire Cook Write, and I'm Claire Cook Write on Pinterest. So those I came to a little bit later. And anyway, I love them all. The trick is not to spend so much time on it that you don't get your work done. But I think that's the challenge for all of us. Sharon 3960, love your bookshelf. Oh, I wish you could see it more closely. Thank you. There's a Time Flies is sitting up there on a beach chair, and Wild Water's next to it. I have all these shells and stuff like that. I'll try to get some good pictures of it and put them up on Facebook and Twitter. But thank you. You should see the stuff hidden under, like, the messy part, though I'm not going to show you. Mama Della, do you have a favorite classic book that you just really love? The books that turned me into a reader were the Nancy Drew books. I am such a Nancy Drew girl. Those were the ones that I think there's one book or series of books, and I feel I was a teacher for 16 years, so I feel this is for my teaching self as well as my writing self, that just the first book you really, really fall in love with, or series. For my daughter, it was The Babysitter's Club. For my son, it was Goosebumps. But that's what makes you a writer, just really, really falling in love. And a reader. And I don't think you can be a writer, I just combined 2 sentences, unless you're an avid, joyful reader. I think that's how you get better as a writer, by reading everything you can get your hands on. So Nancy Drew, all the way. Teresa's reading, while you are considering book settings, I have to recommend the Rocky Mountains. Lots of summertime fun to be had. Oh, yeah, unless you're terrified of heights, which I am a little. But yes, that would be fun to do a mountain book, equal time. And people have said that about lakes too, that, all this beach stuff. Well, there's some pretty gorgeous lakes and mountains. So, okay, I'll start looking for other fun places. Thank you for that. Sharon Berger, do you have a favorite food, snack, or otherwise which you need for nourishment when you write? Nah, I guess I finally started writing again after all these years so late that if I needed, a favorite oh, I don't know, if I needed like a pink feather boa and a special bathrobe or a certain snack or brand of coffee, I just put, sit down, turn on the computer, pour a cup of coffee, and get to work. I try not to allow myself, special need things. And honestly, once I'm lost in a book, I completely forget about that anyway. So, my reward maybe is that, oh, I don't know, snack food otherwise. I don't know. I would I eat pretty healthy. I'm trying to think of what. Oh, I love uh Trader Joe's olive oil popcorn. That's really good. I don't know. I'll think of that too. Sorry, I'm not coming up with a good snack. Glass of wine at the end of the day, maybe that would work. BookTrib, wow, what a great chat. Thanks to everyone for submitting such great questions. Yeah, really, these were fabulous. Thank you. I'm going to take some notes. I'll go back and listen to it. Okay, I'm going to announce the official winners of A Copy of Time Flies, and they are Sharon, and if I butcher your names, I apologize. Sharon Gallagher Chance, woohoo! Nova Mansk Conover, congratulations. Mama Della, J.A. Riddle, Elaine Klingbeil, Minna DeCaro, Teresa's Reading, Robin Call Hominoff, Sharon Haney, and Sharn3960. Whoa, congratulations, everyone. That is so great. If you're one of our lucky winners, please email booktrib@booktrib.com with your mailing address to claim your prize. Congrats, everybody. That's awesome. And that's wonderful. And oh, that's great. Congratulations, everyone. That's so cool. Making sure I'm doing this right. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Claire, for joining us today. BookTrib is saying this, not me, talking to myself. We loved getting to know you and talking about your book. Thank you for having me, BookTrib. This is great. And I will save this chat and you'll be able to look at it again, and I will look at it again for suggestions for my next book. And again, track me down. If I'm not connected to you already, I'd love to be. You can always start at clairecook.com and link through to there. Okay, I'm going to save this. I guess I sign out now. So bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming.